My name is Taria Thompson, and I am an undergraduate student at the University of the Bahamas. This assignment is for my English 300 Advanced Composition class. I will discuss gender based violence towards women and how we can fight it. Gender based violence is any and all harmful acts against a person based only on their gender. This would include any physical, verbal, financial abuse, and whether or not it takes place in a virtual or online environment or in person. The most identifiable form of gender based violence is physical. We can see the injuries in the form of the bruises, the cuts, and the broken limbs as a very graphical representation of the mistreatment that these women often suffer. Verbal abuse is also very harmful. Swearing at someone, words of cruelty, screaming, and choosing words that damage the victim's self esteem and shatter their confidence can be just as abusive as all physical forms of violence. Financial abuse is not always visible, but it is still abuse. Withholding or threatening to withhold financial resources or to remove financial stability from the victim creates an unsafe environment where the abuser now has ultimate control over the victim. To discuss these occurrences in most cultures, this is often considered taboo and could also lead to the abuse becoming worse or being ostracized by family and friends. Therefore, many women have suffered in silence, feeling hopeless and forgotten. The atmosphere that created this problem was set by the patriarchal ideals that were passed down through generations and over the many centuries. These ideals dictated that men were superior to women and were considered of a higher value. These ideologies surrounding the traditional gender roles often bred aggressiveness, dominance, power orientation, self aggrandization, lack of sensitivity, and lack of empathy in most men. This, of course, often leads to violence. Of course, this in turn creates toxic masculinity, where men perform based on gender roles in a way that is hyper aggressive. These men engage in bullying, withholding of emotions or affection, and feel as if they must act this way to be seen as real men. What allowed this to occur? Well, women were seen as low value. Women couldn't vote, had no power, couldn't get equal pay, or even get educated as a man. Man led the house, and they controlled everything. Why was this bad? Well, it limited the choice of women and men, didn't differentiate between sex or gender, perpetuated wrong gender stereotypes, and greatly reinforces the inequality between the genders. It is just wrong. This ideology, however, is becoming outdated, and developing countries are working towards the modern progression of equality, not just to benefit women, but to benefit all the genders that occupy the social communities that we live in. So, what do we do to fight this ideology and, by extension, address the problem of gender based violence towards women? We raise awareness, we advocate, and we strongly educate the public on why this gender based violence should not be allowed to continue. Women themselves have proven to be their own advocates. Over the years, they fought to change these stereotypes. They fought to be able to vote, to work, to own property, to have independence, and to be seen as equal to men. Most notably, women fought to be able to be educated the same as men. They wanted the same opportunities to learn, to be able to become doctors, lawyers, bankers, business owners, and become so much more than just a homemaker. The results from this fight are modern women are now holding political offices. Barbados and New Zealand have female prime ministers, and women have expanded into male dominated careers such as firefighting and other forms of law enforcement, construction, and even engineering. We need to educate the public on how gender norms are changing, and that these changes should be seen as positive, as they offer a different dynamic to the traditional mindset. Men can be homemakers, and women can be the head of the home, and this can be a welcome change. Proper education on sexuality can also challenge harmful gender norms. It creates important discussions about ways to improve relations and work towards the goal of eradicating patriarchal ideals and the harmful gender based violence that it supports. An empowered and educated society, inclusive of women, create a more stable and healthy community. Economic growth occurs, children grow up in healthier home environments, and it fosters peace between all of the genders. We have come a long way and have longer still to go. However, if we all work together, we can battle gender based violence and create true equality for everyone. It is all of our responsibility.